the idea now is really just to have a bit of a debate and a conflab to get everyone involved if possible. We've got Ben and Jack up here to take the first couple of questions, but I'd like to know whether you agree with what they say or disagree with what they say, and if you don't, then I'll just point you out and start picking on you and asking you the questions as well. Is that okay? Cool. And I'm going to kick off. So, Ben, you've heard from already from Therabody. Jack from Fitness Worx.
Hello, yes. Hello. Do you want me to use this? Or do
Yeah. Yeah, you can do.
Don't use a mic very often. How are we all? Have you all lot found it just as hard as me to sit still today? Yeah, it's been hard, isn't it? That's the hardest part. Sitting as a gym owner, the hardest thing is I find sitting on these seats. Anyway, I'm Jack. This is Chris and Matty down here. We own Fitness Worx. We started 6 years ago. We've gone from 1. We've now got 8 at the moment. So we are based around here, Warwick. We've gone up to Shrewsbury and down to Bristol somehow. So we're kind of like just in the heart of the country. So that is what we do.
But 7, 8 clubs?
8.
8 clubs now.
Yeah, 8 now, yeah. So we had 4 pre-pandemic, and then during lockdown somehow we ended up gathering another 4, and then now we're here very stressed and tired, but it's cool.
But you're still here. So
but I'm still here at the moment, yeah absolutely. Doing well.
Yeah, you want to know more about Fitness Worx? I'll do another minor plug. Have a look at Gym Owner Monthly.
Oh yeah,
so
I was in that too.
Jack and Matt and their dad are on the front cover of Gym Owner Monthly.
Yeah, because it's family. Me and my dad started it, then my brother quit his job, started it, then Chris came on. So it's all kind of like good and bad, but it's family run, so it's all right.
So yeah, really good business and a good story. I'm going to kick off with what an independent gym is. I'd really like to, as kind of part of the research and the work I've been doing. So you got the mic, Jack, and you did answer this question in the interview I gave you. But what's an independent gym to you? What's the definition of it?
Yeah, so So obviously now we're up to like 8 sites. My independent may have changed a little bit, but for me, like as an independent gym owner, it kind of means that the owners that started the brand, the company, the culture, the community, as long as they are involved all the way through, I still feel we are independent. Obviously, the day that one day we potentially get funding from someone, we may not be so independent, but at the moment when it's all run between like us lot, that's what I see independent as in as you're like, I still turn up to work, these two turn up to work, we still know the members, we still know the ups, the downs, we still get the shit every day, we still get all the rubbish that goes along with owning a site. That's what I still feel as an independent. But I don't know, you can answer actually, yeah. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly what you said. It's until you get to a certain point, it's always going to be independent, especially to the people who are running the business, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's still your baby, and it's still you have different parts of the business which you take control of and grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're owning it. You know most members by their names, right?
It's not just looking at the members by numbers. It's just knowing who they are.
Yeah.
And then knowing
Cool.
you.
So Ben, what about? Sorry, we're going to do mic juggling here. I'm not sure how that works on a COVID level, but anyway. So more from the supplier point of view, do you, when you're segmenting databases or things like that, what's an independent gym to you guys?
I think first and foremost for us as a brand, a big thing for us is building relationships of trust and support. So, when I dissect an independent gym and get to have great conversations with everyone here today, that's really evident. The willingness of people to collaborate and communicate, and maybe you don't always get the opportunity to have so many different individual conversations with maybe some of the bigger operators. So I think that's actually quite exciting I've had various different conversations today with people about different things and ways that they can integrate our technologies, but to be able to have sort of more meaningful, more insightful, independent, right, individual conversations is really what can drive this forward. And I think the work that we do at a community level with maybe some of the smaller players, but potentially with a bigger vision and bigger aspiration to serve their member, it's really quite fulfilling. So that's how I'd kind of process it at the moment.
Yeah, cool. I'd second that. From a kind of supplier basis, that being close to the members and knowing them and understanding them, but also making decisions and just going, this is what we want to do. We're going to pivot. We're going to start using Theraguns, or we're going to start doing whatever else, and just go, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start trying it tomorrow. Independents aren't always as big. I've worked with lots of leisure centres and trusts, 14 sites, 20,000 members, more, the Places Leisure Study was hundreds of thousands of members, but taking something like Health Seekers to them, it's trying to just turn a juggernaut. Whereas you start, when we work with independents, it's just a lot more fulfilling, I think is a good word. Fun. And whilst, we may be affecting less members, you can get more directly to them through independence. So I want to get people healthier, but I don't want to work with the people. I want to work with a club who is working with the people, and working with independents is good from that point of view. Any other thoughts on what's an independent from your point of view? Anything different, or I'm not looking to redefine the independence group, or Rob's got his ways of doing it. Thanks, Ben.
I think it all just comes down to it's my arse on the line. It's my house. It's my family. If I don't make it work, that's it. It's all down to that. Nobody else. It's me. We started as a family business as well, like my dad.
Yeah.
And we've moved on. He's retired. So we're exactly the same. But it's all down to me. The buck stops with me. That's it. That's what an independent is, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Matt. Any other thoughts? Any supplier thoughts out there at the back? Checking your emails or reading your brochures. That what's an independent? Why is it? Just.
How do you manage over 8 sites to still remain part of that and have that community feel?
Good question.
A lot of miles at the moment. No, I am. Yeah. No, I am. Yeah. So, well.
Online.
Yeah. Well, a bit of everything really. Like finding the right person to run that site and be like a mirror. Yeah, this is a very good question. I don't actually know the answer. The answer is a lot of trial and error. Yeah. I did think that. The way we've done it at the moment is that when we've created a site, say a bit further away, we've then spoke to our team and see if anybody wants to actually relocate. So we have actually relocated people to run that site that have been inside our business for 4 years. So they know the ins and outs, they know the culture, they know the community, they know what I like, Chris likes, Matt likes, they know how we want our brand to come across. Then they go up there and they kind of mirror what we've done down here. Another way we've actually done it is one of the owners, as a guy that's moved down to Bristol, he moved back up here. So he's we've known him for a long time. He wasn't a personal trainer. He came up here. He did our personal training course. We then qualified him, put him on the gym floor with Fitness Worx for 2 years with the kind of intention that we will then go down to Bristol and open a site. So so far, we've kind of done it all by, not luck, but kind of just by having the right people. The other sites that we've opened at the moment that are a bit closer to home, we've just put in staff that have been inside our business. When we go further afield, which we're looking at going further afield at the moment, that's when we're going to totally change it and try and bring someone here for maybe even 2, 3, 4 weeks, work alongside us, and then we'll put them in there. And then I'll just have to spend a lot of time there. So the first month I'm down there quite a lot, just my presence being there, these guys' presence being there. They learn from us, and then and it is generally just driving back and forth. It's what we created, so I want to go there. I go there at the right time, speak to the members, and just being around. But yeah, a lot of miles. That's really a lot of miles, and so far so good. Just the right people. But I understand eventually these right people will run out, and then it's the trust which is the hard part. That they're going to open at 6 a.m. It's going to be closed. It's going to be covered, but a lot of it is just communication between our team. We all in the same group and we just all talk. And it's just been, we have had, obviously, like anybody, we have the days where this gym's not open or they're late or their client stood there, and we've just kind of had to deal with it, really. But when we go further afield, that's when we're going to completely change it. It's what we're working on at the moment, like a bit of a training course kind of style to come in, learn, and then they go back and open the site. So, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah, at least one of the questions I had was about education. There's been a lot of talk about education, upskilling, not necessarily in traditional. I always talk about which way you should do a lat pull down, mainly because I can't remember, because I'm not a fitness professional. But apparently there is a right way and a wrong way. Let's not argue it now. But in terms of other training and education, maybe Ben again. What you talked about it a bit on your nice sit down session. But yeah, how do you see that going forwards for upskilling staff and bringing them all together?
Yeah, I think you've touched on some good points there as well around like establishing a culture which is recognised within your leadership group, and then how does that decimate throughout the estate that you're looking to create. So my view on this is that we need to consider ourselves as a learning and development arm, and a division within our brands and within our businesses. So yes, there's the technical detail behind how to, gain the most out of the recovery technologies in our case, or different equipment that we see in our space. But then equally, the development of our people. So I think the two go hand in hand. The way that I think about it, as I sit back and take a breath and think, right, okay, how are we going to scale our efforts globally across, I think it's over 10 different time zones now. We've really had to acknowledge it in 3 different ways. So there's live in-person efforts. So like you guys getting amongst it, being beside your people shoulder to shoulder. That's, no question, always the preference. So we think about that, who is our local conduit of Dr. Jason in Italy, for example, right? So how do we establish that? What are our host sites as well, right? Where are we actually hosting education? There's some amazing people here today that I'd love to have conversations with around, could we potentially host some Therabody University education with people in this room? Then there's the digital aspect. I think we all need a modular, scalable digital learning effort, and that could be, just day one systems usage, right? But then that could also extend into more technical training. And then, dare I say it, the virtual scenario, right? In the virtual settings, I've definitely spent way too much time on Zoom, but it allows us to do more in a consolidated period of time, and there's definitely an advantage to that. So I think in summary, I think you need to have a strategy for digital, virtual, and live in person.
Yeah, and this, sure, the applications of Theragun are fantastic, but I see it as something that actually gives your staff something to focus on, gives something to educate your members with. Yeah, it's a Theragun, but it could be, various other things that is, bringing your staff and therefore your members together to give them something to talk about and interact, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the success of percussive therapy and just bringing people a handheld modality that they can use on themselves whenever and wherever they need it to, it's kind of taken us on this really cool trajectory into the body, and understanding there's probably a little bit more we can and should be doing in this space. And the self-care aspect can't be underestimated. I mean, how do you guys think about looking after your crew?
What, as in like our staff or our members?
Yeah.
Wow.
Go and switch over with the mic, and then you've got.
What do you mean, like looking after their training? Or
Yeah, in terms of the staff, and I know like the day to day that you described of 10-hour block or 6-hour block in the morning. We've actually found there's been a lot of benefit for percussive therapy with the trainers themselves.
Yeah, like the way because we've got a lot of personal training. So our business model is we're 75% probably personal training, and we're like 25% open gym and kind of small group classes. And we found with the personal trainers, because we've got so busy, that they would work from 6 in the morning till 9 at night. Like, we've all done it. And they would have little mini gaps in the day, and like, we'd look at their diary and I'm like, sweet, you're making me a shitload of money, but you're going to get to the end of the week and you are exhausted. Like, you've got nothing in you. The sessions are crap. Like, you're not even talking to them. And then you found that the clients, the trainers' retention would drop. So now, like, we make them have like an evening or two off, not do every early morning, making sure they've got gaps in the daytimes where they're actually doing their own thing and having their own life. Because it's too easy sometimes when you're just chasing like your monthly salary is just to work all the time. But then we found that it was just that our retention levels are just dropping and dropping and dropping. So the way we kind of look after them, we have our meetings, we used to do get-togethers all the time, but recently, obviously, because of this rule, we couldn't. But just trying to create a community and a team, that's really it, isn't it? And just making sure, that they're not burnt out all the time.
And they all train, so they're all active.
Yeah.
They train when they want. They train they train in the gyms as well.
On shifts and stuff,
all the time, so they like it.
Yeah.
But how else are they training? And also with something like Theragun, where people can take it home,
Yeah,
So,
well,
so people did take some kit home with them during the pandemic, right? Or did you?
what do you mean?
Were you renting kit out? Or?
Yeah, well, yeah, fucking hell, yeah. We did rent out kit, yeah, that was a fucking nightmare.
Sorry,
we'll
I
never do
shouldn't
that
bother
again. Fucking hell. Come back fucked, didn't it, half of it? Yeah, we rented out the kit and we didn't really think it through. And then all of a sudden we've got a queue. No, we gave it out. I gave it out for free, yeah, which again, I'm a mug. We had queues down the road. Look at the gym that we've all worked our arse off for 6 years and it's fucking absolutely bare. So we rented kit out and they looked after it. We did like online Zooms, we did cocktail nights, we did, what else did we do? Quizzes, bingo. We got really drunk one night with everybody on Zoom. What else did we do? We did loads, gave them all the kit. We did online for free. The only thing they had to keep their membership. And by doing that, we kept like 75-80% of our members. Our kit some of it did come back rusty. One plate was meant to be yellow, it's now brown and like stuff like that. But we kind of wrote that off and sold it actually. And then, that's how we did it really, just creating that community still.
But what else is there that people can, now that you've learned from that people can be taking home, or that personal trainers or staff can be taking away with them, or to, I'm thinking about a Theragun or about some Theraband, or how are people training outside the gym? What are people doing differently now?
They've realised that you don't need all this kind of fancy stuff. That
Right.
really, you can just train with a band, body weight. You can just train with minimal stuff, and then like you don't need a physio because you can use. I'm not saying you don't need a physio, but you can use tools like this. You can use foam rollers. You can just do other stuff around the things that we've always done, which is obviously like physio, massage, therapy, the gym, classes, personal training. There's many other ways that you can move and get better.
Yeah. Is there anything else like from the floor that anyone's doing that they learnt to do? Yeah, Mike, if you want, but shout it out otherwise. What are you doing differently or new now that is not necessarily the gym or classes, or what else is that's different post-pandemic? Go on, Rob. You were going to ask me a question before, weren't you? What?
We've implemented a running club.
Yeah.
Getting people outside, no more bodies on the gym floor.
Right, yeah.
Creating a community, and it's something else we're offering, which I don't think anyone else in town is doing.
So, got to be a member to be a member of the running club?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, at the moment. Now you've asked that question. Yeah. Okay, but how many people are getting together? Is that once a week, twice a week? What's the?
We did a catch 5K in lockdown.
Uh-huh.
So the idea was when we had the reopening date, we did like 8 weeks up to it.
Nice.
Building people back up to their kind of fitness level, expecting them to just get back into the gym and get back to classes, but actually it grew into such a nice community, and it's got a WhatsApp group, and we do strong challenges and things like that we kept it going, and then since then it's attracted more people from the gym and new members, and it's 6 p.m. on a Monday night, so when the gym's packed, it gets 12 people off the gym floor. So
Perfect. Yeah. Cool. And a good lead into communities as well. So what other ideas, come back to you guys in a minute, but what other communities have you got that are running off the back of Chris's chat earlier on?
We've also started a ramble and a roast with one of the members who owns a pub that's nearby in Somerset countryside. So people on a Sunday go for a 5K and then sit down. The first one was only the first one this month, but they're sitting down for a Sunday dinner after doing a 5K walk, and it's getting people talking. We've seen in the gym this week, since Sunday, people talking to each other. They've never spoken to each other before.
Yeah.
From meeting on Sunday.
Love it. Sorry, first Sunday of the month, is it? Everyone down to Somerset. Ramble and a roast, you heard it here first. But what an amazing kind of outside the four walls community.
I think that's incredibly bespoke as well, right? Personalised, ramble and roast, localised.
Yeah.
I really like that though. I think as you sit down and you look at the word wellness, and it feels like the frequency of the term wellness is even more kind of prevalent with everything that's going on at the moment. And the social aspect of wellness cannot be underestimated. So sounds like you guys are making a terrific play to really progress that side of things. And often we're super focused on the physical dimension of wellness.
Yeah.
And I think now more than ever, I mentioned sort of Zoom, people are actually working more than they ever have. Their vocational wellness is escalating.
Yeah.
So creating those little pockets for people to address the social aspect, I think is a really cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing talking meetings, as in just getting off Zoom and getting out for a walk with my earpiece in, but just having often coaching conversations, things like that. But yeah, Zoom is great. One of the things that I miss a lot that Jack you still get is travelling. Actually, to have a meeting at 10 on Zoom that you're kind of trying to finish at 10:55 because you've got a meeting at 11. Normally you jump in the car or on the tube or in a train or something in between those meetings and have a bit of headspace. Maybe even make some notes, maybe even follow up the meeting. But when you're going Zoom, you get to the end of the day, you're just like, oh my God, that probably was a beer. But having the breaks in between, which I think comes back to what you're saying about the PTs.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. We just found that they just carried on working, and then having that breaks now, their quality of work's gone up, the clients' results have gone up, their retention's gone up, and really they haven't really lost that much income. They've only lost a little bit, but their quality of life, I think, is a lot better. We still have a lot of people that do try and do it, and we do say, so when we hire a personal trainer now, we say that you can't work every night. You need to have something off in the week or something in the morning. Yeah. Weekends aren't compulsory, but we just expect a Saturday once a month, and then it's worked well.
Yeah,
really well,
sharpen the saw. Right?
Yeah, it's just made them better, just perform better.
Yeah. So. What about online? What about, I know quite a few, I know several independents who really did very little online during the pandemic. They were like, this is us. We've given the kit out, not necessarily you guys, but they maybe gave out some programs and didn't do online. Lots of others went, we're doing Zoom, we're doing Les Mills, we're doing whatever else. And then open the doors again. Thank God we don't have to do online anymore, because now our classes are 130% full. You kind of go, well, hold on, that means that already you've got 30% of people who can't get into the class, so what are they doing? A bit of a debate around online training now. What are you guys doing? Zoom, Les Mills, have you still got online classes running? There's a shake from Rob, no? Or all back in-house?
I think it dropped off the members as well. Once they come back in, they prefer the face-to-face and having that interaction. And one of your trainers doing a Zoom one from the living room or whatever. I think they just prefer the interaction is as important as the event that they're joining.
Yeah.
I think each lockdown it got worse and worse anyway. Lockdown 1, they were flipping hugely online classes.
Yeah.
But lockdown 3, we were getting 1s and 2s for classes. And we still offer some of that stuff online for some of the people that are too scared to come back still.
Yeah, because there are people who, as I say, aren't back or can't get onto the classes.
But it's really only a couple of times a week now.
Yeah, okay.
Like we were doing 2 or 3 a day.
Any other views from you guys on online training?
No, we dropped ours straight away. Personally, because I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I couldn't think of anything worse, to be honest. And our coaches, like you just said there, that the first lockdown was really busy. Second lockdown was okay. Third again was okay. Then by the end, we were dropping off to low numbers, and it was good. It served its purpose. But towards the end of it, I just felt like people were just attending just to show us support, and I just didn't feel like the energy was there. So when we would jump in sometimes and watch them, I felt that the whole kind of energy had gone, and it was actually starting to do a bit more harm than good. So I decided we cut them 2 weeks earlier, then we started promoting that the gym's going to be back open and all that kind of stuff. And then people wanted just to come back to the gym. They wanted just to come and have a conversation and talk to people. They wanted just to be around people. Yeah. So the online classes, they served its purpose, but for us, I would never have them if the gym was open, no.
Yeah, okay, cool. Anything to add?
No, I think looking at it from a different angle as an educator and seeking to provide education, there have been benefits to it in terms of like scheduling for the PT, working with certain partners if they know, okay, the education for Theragun today is between 2 and 4. It makes total sense, and we can actually bring more people in.
Yeah.
You know, so from that angle, it certainly does have its benefit. But I think as you guys are all sort of leaders of your communities, sometimes it's not necessarily the online class. It might be a great podcast recommendation. You know, people have had to spend a little bit more time with themselves during lockdown, and they've, you know, been spending a lot of time in the same space, right? So what can we give them to listen to when they are working out at home, and just maybe some additional knowledge, which might be distributed online, right?
Yeah.
An audio book or something of that nature.
Yeah. So back to that community and education piece, you're helping your members with their knowledge about themselves and about fitness or health. Yeah, cool. What other questions have you got for these guys while you've got them here? Come on, you got this resource, all for me, but I'm...
Do you employ your PTs as a rent?
No, we don't. Well, I think we have a bit of it. No. Yeah. So no, I don't. I've never rented space. Me as a company and as a brand, like our brand's quite important to us. And for me personally, renting space, I can't control that trainer's style. I can't control that trainer's what he's doing on my gym floor, basically. So they work for our company. We have a full sales team. Chris is the head of the sales there. We find the clients. We do the consultations. We do all the marketing. We do everything. We basically pass them, our clients to them. They service that client, and then hopefully they retain them all the way through. So they have to wear our uniform. They basically work for us, and that's how we do it. Because, no, we don't rent space, no.
Because you've done that as well in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, because I did it in the past. I rented space in the past, and I just felt like sometimes that I always wanted to grow like a culture and a community. And if you're renting space, you never really like, he's my competition. It's just always like a bit like of a fight on the gym floor. So I did it for a little while. I worked on the gym floor for years and years and years, renting space. And then I moved to a private kind of community-based personal training centre. And that's where I found out that actually this is really good. But then also I like the aspect of open gym because it creates a better atmosphere inside the gym. So we combine the both together, the one that we run now and open gym, and it kind of created what Fitness Worx is today.
The other thing is, I think you let them be PTs, they do that really well. Yeah. They don't need to focus on selling themselves, selling a rubber, selling whatever. Yeah. They do their job and they do that well, and you let them get on with it and they're happy. Yeah. That's what we found.
They often can't sell themselves either.
So they can't talk, a lot of the time they can talk one-on-one to people. When they're trying to sell, that's not what they're naturally born to do. They're there to help people, not to sell to them. So,
like when money gets involved, it just doesn't work. So we took all that pain away from them, and we just said to the coaches, you're here to do what you've trained to do, and that is to help that client get from A to B, and we'll do the rest for you. And that's kind of how we kind of grew.
Mm. So that's one model.
Yeah.
But
there's, millions of models at work. Yeah. That's just what works for us. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's like all different sites and different places, right? This works for us. I don't know if it worked for everybody else, but it works very well for us. And people do try and always ask us to rent space, but it's just a complete no-go for us.
Do you pay by the hour or do you salary?
At the moment, we pay by the hour, but we're going into a salary system very soon. We're just trying to kind of work out the logistics of it. Because obviously, as you know, if you have a coach, as soon as you put them on a salary, at the moment there is, like I said earlier, there's an incentive to working hard. They get more money at the end of the month. But also, if you put them on a salary, we've found that they then don't do as many hours. Then obviously, all of a sudden, it's costing us a lot of money. So we're just kind of going through that process, that very long process at the moment. But we will be salarying them very soon. Yeah.
Did you change that a year or two ago, Rob? Did you bought?
We're still renting space.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was used to at Fitness Worx, so that's what I used.
Yeah.
That's where I started. I know, yeah, that was... Yeah.
That's what because that was what I knew, that's why I started. And, it's interesting.
There's ups and downs to them both, because we have 25, 30 trainers now, and it's up to us to keep them busy. Does that make sense? So all of a sudden you've got that stress of 25, 30 people that are looking to you to make money. So that's kind of sometimes the downside. And then obviously there's different downsides to renting space. So there's always ups and downs. It's just what worked very well for us. And touch wood, it's still working very well for us.
Yeah, we've looked at it recently, moving to in-house.
Yeah.
But we looked at what we could hire the trainers out for, and then what they would be paid compared to what they're earning now per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have this conversation like daily with our PTs.
Yeah.
They go, wow, you're getting £45 an hour and I'm only getting 15. But when they work it all out properly and they work out the VAT, the marketing expenses, the Google, the Facebook, the sales, the equipment costs, the rental costs, they're actually up compared to what the business is making.
But that needs selling to them probably on a weekly or daily basis.
That's
almost, right? Look, I told you this yesterday, but it still costs this.
They don't appreciate
No.
what you spent on
Yeah.
But then when they do appreciate it and they can see what you're doing for them, it works both ways. It works well, and like I said, it's just a case of you leave them to get on with it. There's never any problem.
Yeah.
Never any problem.
We have a lot, because when we're trying to find trainers, they all come from us from renting space, and this is what conversation we have every time. And the way I kind of look at it now, and we have probably 2 or 3 or 4 interviews a week with different PTs. We tell them our structure. They say, "Oh well, I'm earning more here," and I'm like, "Wow, fuck off then." Like, there's a reason you're sat in my chair, isn't there? So that's the way we look at it. It's like there's a reason you're sat here. You're not making what you want to make, and you can make what you want to make with us. That is what we do. We're not changing. If you don't like it, leave. And after a while, people know what our kind of
and the ones that
deal is now.
And I always say this to everyone, is there's a lot of progression within this company, because we've had PTs who've started from the bottom and now they're managers that run in their facilities. So the progression there, and then the next stage up from that is they go into the business or they take over the facility of their own, which is a Fitness Worx, which is what Jack Gibson.
Yeah.
So much progression.
It's a difficult one though, isn't it? It's my biggest headache every day, trying to work out what's best, and I don't think we'll ever work out the perfect recipe. It's just trial and error, I guess.
I think that's a good one for the bar later on. I'm sure we can continue that, or even for December. Maybe that's a panel debate for December. Listen, questions always dry up round about 4, and it's almost 4. So what about a top tip for independent gyms? 1 or 2 if you want, but rest of this year, what's gonna make a difference for independent gyms?
What I think personally is super simple. It's just give a shit. Like, just give a shit about your members, give a shit about your brand, give a shit about your equipment, your changing room. Just give a shit about everything. A lot of people, I believe, when I go into other people's independents, I'm walking around, I'm like little things like you don't change the toilet rolls, like empty toilet rolls upside down, like just stuff like that. That it's the minor things that people pick up on. It's like housekeeping, like it's just little things. And like to me personally, like I've said it to loads of people, I just give a shit. I care about this brand, I care about everything, and that's my biggest tip, is just care. That's it.
Cool. And Ben?
Yeah, we have a sort of key kind of principle within our brand, which I'll share with you guys, which is called BRT. It's about building relationships of trust through support and guidance. And I think for you guys as owners and leaders in your spaces at the moment, just be a picture of wellness. Practice what you preach. People are really looking for guidance at the moment, and so that's what I'd say. And we're here to absolutely support each and every single one of you in that journey. That's not always related to the technology. There's so much to talk about recovering yourself, and ultimately, if you're in a better state to go again tomorrow, that's really what recovery means. And I think that applies to all of us. We need to look after our system. We only get one body. So that'd be my advice. Keep your mind strong, breathe, take a break. Don't go back to back too often. It's not a good recipe. And look after yourself, and people will follow for sure.
Nice one. Okay, thanks very much, guys. And thanks for your questions and involvement as well. Give them a big round.